Excuse me. Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. As usual, how do I sound? How do I look? How's everything? Let's all grab a cup of coffee. See, we got two people in here, Haldir and Marcus. How you guys doing? Marcus, that picture you drew of Buddy Guy, I didn't realize that was you. That's excellent. Good picture. Excellent. Let's see. Yep, thanks. Join up for my Substack. That's my email list for my comic Heroic Tales that should be coming out. We're building the webpage as we speak. The campaign page. I'm sorry, guys, I can't seem to wake up. Old Dirty Fatty, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Thank you, Marcus, and you look fine. You look fine. Okay. I forget what I said. I said I was going to talk about something, and then I realized, you know what? I have the first appearance of the Doom Patrol, and since I'm talking about the old key issues, you drew it as a Secret Santa gift. Cool. That's a good picture. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, go check out Marcus's Twitter. He drew a picture. Really good, really good. Oh, God, I'm trying to wake up. Okay, so yesterday I had a great day, man. Yesterday was such a pleasant day. I woke up. I don't know if you know Romo Arts. Romo Arts. His wife Brittany. She does Mabel Bakes. She sent me a box of cookies. So I woke up, made a pot of coffee, had a cookie, had some leftover Chinese food for breakfast because I'm a disgusting pig. Read comics all day, and then just a pleasant day. And then I got comics in the mail. I got this in the mail, Mark Polton, and I got this in the mail. So what a good day it was. And then I just read comics all day. It was cold out. I just sat around, read, and then my wife said, let's play a game. Let's play a board game. And my wife never says let's play a board game. And my wife and I have been playing this game called Hogwarts Battle. I'm going to make a video of it and put it up. I was going to do it last night, but we ended up playing twice and losing twice. And then I went right to bed. But it's a cooperative game, meaning that you're all on the same team fighting Voldemort. So I always play Harry Potter. My wife always plays Hermione. And we beat the base game. Then there's a Monster Book of Monsters expansion. It took forever to beat that. And now we have the Charms and Potions expansion that we're trying to beat. Box one. It is a lot of fun. I'll do a video on that later. So yesterday, what a pleasant day. It was just so nice. And then I woke up super early this morning. I woke up at like 7, considering it's a Sunday and don't have to work. It's super early, and my wife and I are going to go food shopping later. I'm going to buy ingredients to make green chili stew. I'll let you guys know how that turns out. So, just having a really good, pleasant weekend. So before I start, let's check out the chat. Haldir, how you doing? Haldir is one of my two great moderators. We got my two moderators over here, Haldir and Marcus. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. We got Old Dirty Fatty. Just makes me laugh every time I see that name. And then Marcus is telling me the sound is good. I just get a little nervous sometimes, Oh, Zachtan. How you doing, Zachtan? Zachtan, where do you live? I'm just curious. You don't have to get specific. Just what state? I assume it's the United States. And then Pete, how you doing, Pete? How's everything? How's Allison? How's the dog? Macy the dog. How's everything? How's Arizona? Is it warm there yet? Is it warm? It's hard for me to sleep after 6:30. Yeah, I normally for work I wake up at 4:30. But now, yesterday, holy moly, did I sleep in? I woke up. Once you're in your 50s, you wake up to go to the bathroom. I woke up to go to the bathroom around 7:30. I said, "This is too early just to get up," and I laid down. I closed my eyes. It was like 11:45. It was like I teleported through time. Oh, Texas. Okay. Where'd you move from, Zachtan? Where'd you move from? How dare you just woke up 20 minutes ago? Bless you. It's in the 70s, Arizona, beautiful. And of course, it's dry. I love the dry heat. Okay, so if I forget what I was talking about. Oh yeah, I said I was going to try to do Hulk #1. I don't know if I have a reprint of that. So you know, I got because I don't want to do like a retelling. I want to do the actual Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby. So I don't have a copy of that. I got to look for that. So that was out, and then I said I'll do Captain America 4. I'll still do Captain America 4. That's in the lineup. But then I realized that I have a copy of My Greatest Adventure. I went to school in Cedarville, Ohio. Oh, okay. This is a key issue because it's the first appearance of the Doom Patrol. Now, I don't know if you guys have watched the show. I don't know if you're familiar with the Doom Patrol, but I know Marcus. Marcus, can you put in the date of X-Men #1 that it was published? I know you know that, and then the date of when this was published, because this has got to be one of the greatest coincidences in comic book history. Okay, I trying to get, maybe if I pull the camera back. Okay, we'll do that a little bit. But then I can't reach. Now I'm too far away from the actual comic. Oh well, making everybody motion sick. All right, we'll just leave it like that, and I'll move the comic around. All right, so why is this going to, well, we'll explore this. There was a TV show that just came out. The TV show like really explored the Grant Morrison era of the Doom Patrol, which, to be honest, was my first exposure to the Doom Patrol. Like, I've heard the name before from Teen Titans. You know, I was a big fan of the Teen Titans, and the Teen Titans and the Doom Patrol have a shared history with Beast Boy. I only experienced the Doom Patrol from the Teen Titans animated show. Yeah, they have a connection. You know, Beast Boy, who becomes Changeling, joins the group. So here we go. Look at this cover. I always thought this was an unfortunate pose. You know, it just looks like incontinence, you know, personified. Look at this cover. So this comic is called My Greatest Adventure. And it was like many of the comics of the era. It was just like an anthology of other stories, science fiction, horror, what have you, sometimes superheroics. And notice it says Superman, National Comics, DC. You know, this was a, you know, the way the DC bullet looked, 12 cents. Okay. All right. Okay. So Marcus, I knew he knew the answer. X-Men launched in September 1963. Okay. So keep that in mind. All right. So, okay. So here's the inside. Not wanted. High school dropouts. Stay in school, kids. We don't want you dropouts. Don't come near me. And here we have the splash page, but let's look at the indicia. Okay. So it's June 1963. Okay. So, but this isn't when it was released. This is June, July, August, September. Okay, so this came out first. I always thought it was the other way around. Okay. X-Men launched in September, and this came out in June. So there you go. Rip-off or not? So why am I saying rip-off? Because here we got the Chief. Lovely beard over here. Niles Calder, but I don't think he was called Niles Calder in this first issue. Who does... Do they even have the credits in here? I just realized they don't have the credits, but I got the credits over here. I looked it up. God, this is so boring. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm trying to wake up. All right, let me take it. So the cover artist is Arnold Drake, Bruno Premiani, and Joe Letteries. It's written by Arnold Drake and Bob Hanley. The pencilist is Bruno Premiani. So there you go. There's the credits. Oops. I already chased Stories Act 10. I'll watch the video later. Okay, thank you. All right, so here we go. All right, focus. All right, so here we have the Chief over here, just talking to these three mysterious beings. And what is he saying? Stop feeling sorry for yourself. You aren't the only ones whose lives dealt a harsh blow. Look at me. I'm in a wheelchair. So here we have an older gentleman, scientist, in a wheelchair, talking to three mysterious beings, the first of whom is Rita Farr. You know, and who is Rita Farr? We go to this. You see this bubbly lines. This indicates a flashback. Yes, Arnold Drake thought the X-Men was a ripoff for years and then backtracked later. Yes, he blatantly said that Stan stole the idea of the X-Men from him. Uh, I don't know. I for some reason I thought they came out closer in my memory, and I thought the X-Men came out. I thought they kind of rushed the X-Men out, but now I see that the Doom Patrol came first. So that kind of I could see his argument now. So here we cut to Rita Far. I mean, Niles Calder is telling them, "Calm down, you lunatics. You've been dealt a bad hand. Look at me. I'm in a wheelchair." And then we cut to Rita Farr. Who is she? She's an Olympic level swimmer who later became an actress. So you know, she was a sports figure who becomes an actress, and while filming, she gets caught up in alligators and nonsense and waterfalls, falls off the waterfalls, and remember that falls to 1,000 feet below to the land of the lost. Well, she's not quite in the land of the lost, but she's in the land of mysterious vapors. And that's what happens when you wear like purple pants. And if it's the 1960s and you're wearing purple pants, you know that there's going to be shenanigans. So that, like, what happened to her, they find her and boom, boom, she grows to giant. She's become a giant, and now she's shrinking. So she has total control over her size. So she could grow super tall and she could shrink. And for some reason, they don't capitalize on that in the movies. They don't make movies about her. They call her a freak and she can't make movies. I never understood that. At least in the TV show, they gave a good explanation. And she now goes by the name Elastigirl. Yes, she was the original Elastigirl, not the one from The Incredibles. Take a sip of my delicious Tim Hortons coffee. No Cafe Bustelo in it this time. I always thought this was the oddest of them all. Like, she's still beautiful. She can still act. She's in total control of her powers. Unlike the TV show, which I get to me, that's one of the rare instances where changing things made it a little bit better. Later on, they gave her stretching powers and stuff like that. But at the beginning, she just got big. She just got small. And apparently so did her clothes, which is nice, I guess, when you're a woman. So he's like, join me. I'm going to form like a team of adventurers. He doesn't even say like superheroes. He pretty much says explorers. So she's like, I got nowhere else to go. I have this terrible power. Nobody will hire me. Why? Why will nobody hire her? I never understood that. Then we got this mummy looking guy. This is what's his name? Why can't I remember his name? But he's a test pilot. Everything you want. Oh yeah, Larry Trainer. Duh, it's right there. I know all about you, Larry Trainer. I know how you became an outsider and a strange one. So he's piloting this experimental aircraft. The experimental aircraft fails. Why did it fail? Because it went too high. It went into like the Van Andreas belt. From the art, you can't really see that it went like basically into the fringes of space. And keep in mind, this is a pre-moon landing. They thought that the radiation belts or like a permanent barrier to space travel. So that was the origin of the Fantastic Four, and now we have the Anton Drake, Larry Trainer. He crashes, and this negative being. So he gets saturated with this radiation, and because of that, he could release basically like remember Doctor Strange released an astral form. Well, he releases an energy being. The thing is that the energy being from day one kind of exhibited its own intelligence and free will. Like Larry could tell it to do stuff, and it kind of does it, but like it has its own. It's almost like it's going along with Larry, not like it's under his control, if that makes sense. And later on, of course, Grant Morrison plays with that idea and gives it like total free will and its own agency. So here it is. It's saving things, and poor Larry is all burnt up from the radiation. So because of that, he has to wear these lead-lined bandages to contain the he's literally radioactive. If he takes off the bandages, not only could he get infections from like the burns on his skin, but he could cause problems to those around him. And I love how you can still see his face through lead-lined bandages. That's just one of those charming, old-fashioned, quaint things of comics. Uh, there you go. Sign up for my Substack. Thank you. You could make the argument that the Doom Patrol took the idea. Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. No comic exists in a vacuum. you know, they're all running in the same circles. Yes, Marcus, I agree. So now it's my turn, and here we got Cliff. Cliff is my favorite of the group. I always have a thing for the Pinocchio, although you can make an argument that Larry is a Pinocchio. What is a Pinocchio? It's a term I made up years ago. I forget why. We were like in high school or something like that. I was talking with other friends about the Fantastic Four, and I said like Ben Grimm. He's like Pinocchio. He just wants to be a real boy, and it's just a term that kind of stuck. So Pinocchio, to me, is a character that is not human but wants to be human. Either they lost their humanity or they never were human. In the case of like Hellboy or Atomic Robo. But I just have a soft spot for that, like, and because of that, they usually seem to be like more humane, more human than human. They seem to be like, they have like Ben Grimm is the softy of the group. The Hulk acts like a big tough guy, but really he just wants to be like accepted. Same with Atomic Robo. Hellboy's got a little bit more swagger, but I think Hellboy is acting a little bit more. And it's just obvious. Cliff Steele, like you say hello to him, he's just like, I just want to be human. Like this guy's torture. So here's his story. So Cliff Steele, Daredevil in search of excitement and danger. He's a stunt car. He's driving this car, and he goes off the tracks, and he just gets destroyed. His body is just ruined, and the surgeons, they can't do anything about it. And when he wakes up, he finds that his brain has been transplanted into a robot body, and he calls himself Robot Man. So Robot Man, the very creative name. And because he's Robot Man, he can't compete. He should just identify as human. I just realized that now. This comic is transphobic because his brain is male, so his body should be male. So, but these transphobes won't let a robot body compete. So he can't be a sportsman anymore. And turns out Cliff Steele was the one who, I was the surgeon. That's how brilliant. Only Niles Calder was smart enough and skilled enough to do this experiment. And he's like, it must, you should have let me die kind of thing. Should have let me die. So here is the Doom Patrol now. And inspired by the Dawn Patrol, there was a movie called the Dawn Patrol, and this is the nerve system. So this is their secret headquarters base where they got the trouble alert. What superhero base isn't complete without a big map of the earth that lights up to tell them where they need to go. So now he's telling them, obviously you can't go to the we got problems. Only you three have unique abilities that only you guys could solve. And flash bulletin, just as they're talking, what a coincidence. This guy's talking about a problem. A time bomb in the North Street Pier may go off at any moment. The police are accurate, blah, blah, blah. We need people to go there. He's like, there you go. This is a job for the Doom Patrol. All right. So I will address the comments. Hey, good morning, Jolly Green. Good to see you. Will the Patriarch have a Pinocchio character? Absolutely. And I will say, well, the Patriarch won't have one, but Heroic Tales will have one, because the Heroic Tales, each issue is going to feature a different hero for the first couple of issues. That's the model. I want to introduce the characters, and then by the time the team forms, you actually know them. And yes, there will be Pinocchio characters, more than one. And then, yeah, trans-robotic phobic, damn non-organic phobes, ferrophobes. Yeah, there we go, ferrophobes. All right, so there's a bomb going off. So what happens? Larry releases the Negative Man, and Larry always refers to, like, Larry Trainer is the guy in the Mummy. The Negative Man is this radiation form that is released from him. Now, he will die. Both of them will die if the negative man isn't returned to his body within 60 seconds. There's always a clock. There's always a clock ticking in the Doom Patrol. But he can move at the speed of light. And here he is carrying this box. This is inconsistent. Sometimes he's just a ghost and he can't touch things. Sometimes he can carry things. I always say this: the first couple of issues of these old 60s characters, the characters kind of evolve. So he finds the bomb, and so he finds it, returns, and he tells them where it is. And now they got to go, and he's looking at this. So she shrinks down to go inside the bomb. I just love how her clothes shrink too, but it's a 1962 comic. Can't have any of that. You know that if they made this comic now, that would be a problem. So now he's containing the bomb in case it does go off with his robot body. She's in there sweating, describing it. And of course, Niles Calder, he's so smart. He's picturing the bomb just by that little glance of it, and he's talking her through what to do. And clunk, she deactivated the bomb. I just think it's funny. If he could take the, it just shows you like unnecessary drama, but it's a team book. So everybody in the team has to show off their abilities, because he could have just taken the bomb and at light speed flown it into space and thrown it away and come back all within 60 seconds. That's how fast light speed is. But I didn't write this comic. They're doing the right thing, showing off how their powers are helpful. Now she comes out and gets back. It's like, there we go. We deactivated a bomb. Our first mission. Now, I would be remiss in my duty if I didn't bring this up. When Grant Morrison took over the Doom Patrol in the 80s, they kind of had this like slope that evolves Niles Calder. Here he's just an eccentric genius who's kind of like I'd say he's callous, but he's good. In the 70s and in the 80s and 90s, they made him like callous and less good, to the point where he kind of became a villain. And that's one of the things that I don't like about like this 90s and 80s and going forward, is like the father figure always is sinister and bad. Now, I got to admit, at the time, I thought it was clever, because now they retold the story, and what a coincidence that there was a bomb just as the Doom Patrol got together, because they retroactively said that Niles put the bomb there. That's how he knew how to deactivate it. He wanted to give them a little bit of test. You know what I mean? So there you go. It works. It works flawlessly, actually. And here's some other DC I don't know. I got a thing for these golden age versions of the DC heroes. This Flash is my favorite Flash. The Alan Scott was my favorite Green Lantern until what they're doing with them now. The original Hawkman, these were so good, so good. And then we got, the artwork is kind of standard. Yeah. No great shakes. I know that's kind of mean to say to poor Bruno, but not my favorite, not my I don't hate it. It's kind of charming in its own way. Is Allison watching, Pete? So now we got Peter Pup Tent Explorer. This is just a one-page gag. You know what I mean? I think it's just there as like a throwback to older times when comics had to have like comic strips in it, or maybe it's just there to pad the comic. I don't know. But here is the second adventure, chapter 2. So I'm wondering if they made these 3 stories to put out in 3 different issues, and then whatever they assembled them to made one big issue. Maybe they realized superhero comics were selling again, Team Comics was selling again. So this chapter 2 is a completely different story. It continues the story. It's like a comic book, self-contained, but yet they form, like links in a chain, which is what my comic will be. Like, you will be, not that I want you to, but you will be able to miss a comic and not be confused. Oh, Allison's out shopping. Okay. Tell her this is more important. All right, so what's going on here? It is a secret photo of the first known alien spaceship to land on Earth. Uh, because it contains the most deadly device ever dreamed of. So it must be kept a secret because it has the most dangerous device ever dreamed. So here we have an alien ship land on Earth with the ultimate weapon, and here we have. So that's why he called this clandestine meeting. Now his secret shall be mine. So General Immortus, this guy, I do love this. I do love this drawing. But General Immortus is this immortal being, and he's just so old that he's old, like it's one thing to have eternal life, but it's he's just eternally an old man. I just kill me now, you know, and he's spying. He already now they are remember Doctor Strange, like it started the first appearance of Doctor Strange already implied that he had a past, that he already had villains and arch enemies. Well, it's the same thing. Even though this is the first time the Doom Patrol got together, the Chief, as he's known by Niles Calder, is known as the Chief. He has enemies, and he's already dealt with General Immortus. And because of that, General Immortus is already spying on the Chief. So this is like establishing some world building over here. She's like, I need to get this, General Immortus, I need to get this alien weapon. And I love why do people in wheelchairs always have to have blankets on, but that's, he's got a jacket on, he's got pants and the blanket. So there we go. What is this? Bruno did all the issues, but he didn't have the Marvel action or dramatics. Yes, absolutely. If you ask me, I don't think this era of DC had the action or dramatics at all. And that's why Marvel took off. They had Jack Kirby. That's why everybody knows Jack Kirby and not everybody knows Bruno. I don't mean to be mean. I don't mean to be respectful, but them's the facts. Each page has a book title and 2 DC logos. Yes, you notice that up on the top. Yep. Every page has it. So now he's got one of my drone rockets. So I do love the futurism in this, meaning like the predictions of the future that comes through, like drones, spy cameras that are like tiny and hard to find. And General Immortus just sitting there in this, like, look at that desk, with microphones, just keep barking out commands. And then the prop planes are flying out there. Larry's flying because remember he was a test pilot. And there's Robot Man, and Robot Man has this device on his chest, which is a remote camera. So the Chief, who's wheelchair bound, could remain in constant contact with them and give them commands. I waved my hand just to get the camera to focus. So here's the space alien ship. This crazy dude that comes out. I love that with the eyeball. So it's like, it's so primitive, DC, but this is light years above the Justice League, if you ask me. This is not pandering to children. What do you guys think? Do you think this is pandering to children, or is this is not quite Fantastic Four level, if you ask me, not quite X-Men level, but this is leaps and bounds above the Justice League in the quality of the writing, if you ask me. You know what I mean? Like the Justice League was like, yeah, I don't know. I recognize the importance of it, but it's not my favorite of all. But this is excellent, and I just love the fact that a robotic body has underwear on. So this thing is attacking; they're running away. So the Chief is over here. He's watching through Robot Man's camera and microphone, giving them directions. And I look at Negative Man. There's a lot of like Negative Man saves the day, if you ask me. Like Negative Man was like the Deus Ex Machina of this team, So he comes out, and I love this panel. This is just so surrealistic. You know what I mean? Like, look at that. Couldn't you just see a gigantic 12 by 12 of that? Like, get Matt Barr to do a 12 by 12 of that and then just hang it up in like a museum. I could just imagine snooty New Yorkers going, "Oh yes, the aesthetic design of this is wondrously apropos of modern day society, of how the common person would desire privacy, and yet we are blinded by the negativity of it all, of mankind." I just love that. I love that. And here we have, geez, and also note that they have the green costumes. They don't have the more familiar red and white costumes. That comes 9 issues later. Okay. Oh, I see that there's comments. Hey, Stippling, how you doing, Stippling Vaughn? Wonderful artist. FDR always had a blanket on his lap, probably less circulation of blood in his legs. Yeah, well, he had polio. Yes, you're absolutely right. I didn't think about that. Whereas, yeah, I don't know what crippled Niles called her, but we do know that in the comics, Xavier was crippled by a boulder to the spine. Gives new meaning to robot jocks. Hey, Odin, my favorite mustache in the world. I love you. What, you laughing at my snooty artist impersonation? Yeah, but I know this is weird, but I've always had a crush on Rita Farr. I don't know. I just, and then look at this advertisement on the bottom. I always hated these advertisements. The Doom Patrol seems to be just so much of them. And then science shorts. So just one panel gags. I can't stand the dust, but little science facts. Why did they do this? These are goofy, like history's largest garbage collection will be made soon. Twice a year, Navy ship will make a 24,000-mile round trip due to the Antarctic, picked up all radioactive waste materials left by 2 nuclear reactors we have installed there. We installed nuclear reactors in the Antarctic, but why do they do this? So they could say that it's educational, and get like get the censors off their back. And here's the Adventurers Club. In these old comics, they always put text. They 1 page of text, sometimes 2. I think it's 2 pages of text with no advertisements. Will qualify it for media mail, so that these can be mailed from the publisher to the distributor, and then from the distributor to the newsstands at a cheaper rate to keep the prices down. Oh wow, good morning. A lot of people in the chat commenting. JBot Mighty's Bot Studio. How you doing? I haven't seen the name. And good morning, brother Bot. Hey, I love the people talking to each other. It's so nice. So here we got chapter 3. I don't know. This is, again, as Pete said in the chat, like this doesn't seem to have like the action or of Fabrizio Aiello. Hey, Fabrizio, I didn't know you were in the chat. Please start a new channel reviewing modern art in that voice. It would be amazing. Fabrizio is one of my favorite people. He does one of my favorite comics called Horace H. Hoover. I do not know if Horace H. Hoover is a Pinocchio or not, because I don't know if he's human or not, but he's an occult investigator who wears a helmet that looks remarkably like a vacuum cleaner. That's all I know, because I do not want to get spoilers. I want to find out when Fabrizio tells us through reading the comic. But you like my snooty voice? Yeah, we'll do modern art reviews. So as Pete was saying, I was scrolling up to find Pete when I saw Fabrizio. Sorry, Fabrizio, I didn't see that you popped in. Oh, what did he say? Oh, okay. The artwork is kind of standard. Yes. I will say that I do enjoy the artwork. It's not as dynamic or action packed as like, Kirby and John Buscema, but geez, we're talking I like this, and I like individually each panel, but as sequential artwork, yes, it's not as exciting. I mean, look at this page. This is, I don't know, it's just really cool. It's something about it. It's not, the eyeball with that is still my favorite panel. But look at this. Look at that. This is a great panel. But again, there is something kind of the dynamism is missing. Yes, and please hit the like, subscribe, join the channel, order a pint glass. Hey, Pete, have you had any beer from my pint glass? Doesn't it make it taste extra delicious? My pint glass, Heroic Tales, with the patriarch symbol on the back. It's all filthy right now because I was drinking soda out of it last night. I need to clean it. So, and boy, did it make the soda delicious. So here we go up. The alien thing, it's releasing something else. They're all here. Robot, if you could check it out, Robot Man is looking right up Rita's skirt. You know what I mean? And she's gushing. I will leave you to comment on exactly what is happening. Now, actually, it's shooting a freeze ray at them. Yeah, Marcus says, in his defense, everybody could look up Rita's skirt. Yes. So Robot Man is freezing over here. And I love this. So her legs are frozen. Larry's completely frozen, but Robot Man is using his metal joints. He's got more than human endurance, and he's making it over to this machine, and he's battling it. And here we got him. He's eating a tiny little ice cream cone over here. Hold on, Chief. Let me finish this ice cream cone, and I could come and help you. And it overloads. He just shoots his all over him, and he's just getting frozen over here. And these two are like, oh, all of a sudden we don't have ice on us anymore. I don't know. Thanks, Cliff. You're alive, but not such great. I know what a steak feels like coming out of the deep freeze. Again, where's the water? Where's the slush? And got to mother him. They're just taking care of him over here. And, stop it. So they're helping him out. Everybody, they have a camaraderie going. I'm goofing on it, but it is like more innocent. And again, I do think that the writing is so much better than the Justice League. Like, look at these goofy contraption stuff like that. But do you guys see what I'm saying? Am I talking crazy that it's not pandering to kids? Like the Justice League #1. Just rewatch that video. It is just so low effort. Low effort is the only way. What else Stippling Vaughn. The art has a weird science EC Comics feel to it. Yes, well, this comic, my greatest adventure 79 was science stories. You know what I mean? So it was doing poorly. So they tried something. The circulation of it was down. The sales will get low. So this is a Hail Mary. Pint glasses are cool. Down the road we'll get whiskey glasses. Yeah. The dialogue balloons dominate the panels. Yes, they sure do. She's gushing. I'll leave it to your imagination what's happening. You gave me my imagination. Get the hotel. Yes. Thank you, Marcus. John's Long Box, $20. You could taste the deliciousness. Weird for me seeing the actual comic though. I watched a couple episodes of Doom Patrol on Max. Not that great. It's funny because I was complaining to my wife that I want my TV shows to be slavishly dedicated to the comics. And then the Doom Patrol comic came out. That was, I would say, like one of the closest adaptations of the Grant Morrison comics. And I was like, oh God, I forgot how weird it was, And this is my buddy Paul. He plays my role-playing games with me. He's also the moderator at my Villains and Vigilantes. He's not just the moderator, he's the tech guy. Without him, we would have no www.villainsandvigilantesforum.com, where I write up my story write-ups for my role-playing games, which I haven't touched in a long time. Oh man, now I'm embarrassed how long I've been letting that go. So here we got them all recovered. They're inside the alien artifact, the alien ship, and they're looking at this artifact over here. And it is the deadliest weapon ever to exist, and they're now taking it and claiming it for science. And General Immortus shows up with this funky looking doodad over here. So what are they going to do? They send out, it's a tight situation, but there might only be one way out. Listen to me carefully. One slip could doom you all. So this is the chief is talking to him through this robot Man's chest device, and he comes out. Look at this. He's doing the funky chicken. He's like, and General Mortis is like, you're not going to do funky dances, in front of me. And he blasts him with the polarization ray. It could stop any electrical circuit or motor. That means every source of power and motion you possess. So he's shooting him in the butt. Got to shoot him in the butt. With the he's shooting with the polarization right in the butt. What in the butt? I like the Doom Patrol show, but it's like the Grant Morrison area set, which was nuts. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, and thank you, Marcus. This is my forum. If you click on that, you could check. And if you have problems registering or thing, just hit me up. I'll fix it. I just registered a couple of people. So the chief, Niles Caldeer, is watching all of this. And here comes the General Immortus. I don't know, man. Something about an immortal villain to me is just works so well. Like there's a couple of immortal villains in Marvel. They got the Master who fought the Alpha Flight, Vandal Savage, who was a caveman who a meteor crashed and he went to investigate it, and the radiations from the meteor just gave him immortality. So now he's just like a Neanderthal man living in the modern times. I just love that. Just an immortal being is so cool. Like, did he get immortality? I don't know. Does anybody know? Did General Immortus achieve immortality while he was already old, or is he just aging at such a slow rate? And then he goes, you see this device? It issues radio interference, static, which shatters the continuity of energies that composes the negative man. I shall keep him apart for 30 or 60 seconds. That means he can't return to your body and you will die. So bam, he fires this. It breaks up I do love this. And the clock is on. If he doesn't return, if he's gone for 60 and a nanosecond, that's it. Larry is dead. And now he marched in, and I love the teamwork. There's Rita. She hid inside the shell, the casing of Robot Man. So this is teamwork. He was the Trojan horse. He's laying on the ground, and now Negative Man is risking himself as a distraction. And now Rita, who kind of gets overlooked in the Fantastic Four, I will blatantly say, for like the first 25 issues or so, Sue Storm is nothing but the hostage. She just turns invisible and gets out of danger, but that doesn't work. She still gets caught. In the Doom Patrol for issue number 1, look at Rita. This is just cool. She's just, and she doesn't have the stretching of powers here. She develops the stretching powers later. And now what is she doing? She's turning everything off. I love the old-fashioned switch. Again, each panel I think is amazing. Look at Doom Patrol. Look at Doom Patrol. Look at Robot Man over here. He just knocks the block off of these guys with that limp wrist. From a what was his name from Revenge of the Nerds? His limp wristed javelin throwing technique, and he just hits General Immortus at 57 seconds. 3 seconds left, and Robot Man would have died. I mean, Negative Man would have died. So he stomps on that device, and Larry is saved. Man, how I would love a box set of action figures of the original Doom Patrol in these green outfits. And now the Larry and Robot Man are just carrying this the MacGuffin away, the MacGuffin device. General Immortus is now locked in the alien ship. He's frantically buzzing and whirring, and the ship flies away and explodes into the mountain. And General Immortus is immortal no longer. He has to cut. Quick thinking, Rita. When my Negative Man was working with you to knock out that tank, we made a pretty good team, you and I. What do you mean we? Listen here, old mummy. So right away, the two alpha males are bickering over the hot Rita Farr. And then saving grace of the chief is he doesn't long for her just like like Xavier did for the 16-year-old Jean Grey. Here we go. The amazing victory of the Doom Patrol. More than that, Larry, we've been given a name, the Doom Patrol. What do you think? So the newspapers called them the Doom Patrol because they went on a suicide mission and survived. In the 2 large circles, which star is larger? That eyes play Patrix, but have a Tootsie Pop. And then what's the difference between light rays and beams? Again, they're trying to give you a little education so to keep the people off the back. get these rockets. Believe it or not, I had these as a kid. I love these as a kid. Oh man, that takes me back. Knights. Anybody get this? Anybody know about this? I mean, it's probably older than most of us. 120. Anybody get this? Anybody get this? So there you go. That's the first appearance of the Doom Patrol, an important comic. And again, I'm trying to look for the comments because I was focusing on the comic. Did anybody comment on what I said about the writing in this is not pandering to children? Is it like can anybody like crystallize my thoughts why the Justice League #1 was pandering for children and why Doom Patrol was not? What does it say? This art is underrated. This era of the Doom Patrol is one of DC's best reads for me as far as DC class. I Comics for Life. First off, thank you for commenting. Thank you for watching. Forgive me, but I don't recognize your name, which means you're new. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for checking me out. I got to agree with you 100%. I've been on record saying that I am not a Silver Age DC fan. In fact, Silver Age DC is, with the exception of the war comics and the Western comics, I just don't like them. They're pandering to children. They're goofy. They're silly. They are the comics that, like, up until recently, people thought of as comic books of like goofiness and for children. The Justice League being a prime example. This is one of the standouts in this era. This was taken seriously. Now, at the risk of a spoiler, in what was it, 122? The comic was selling so bad that Doom Patrol is going to be canceled, and Anton Drake and Bruno, the guys who created the Doom Patrol, they're like, yeah, these guys are history. Nobody's ever. They killed them off. They blew them all up, and they all died. And they had every intention of keeping them dead. So, you know, the Justice League would never do that. You know what I mean? There was real stakes in the Doom Patrol. Yeah, I agree with you. This is light years above, you know, light years above Justice League. I hope everybody agrees. Well, you could agree or disagree, but what other comments we got? Paul, I did like Titans on Max and a few crossover with the Doom, but mostly watch it for Minka. Yeah, Minka Kelly is too cute, huh? But for Minka, I didn't know, who does she play? Who does she play? Bruno Premier. I still cannot pronounce his name. Premian is also credited for co-creating the Teen Titans. I do not have the first appearance of the Teen Titans, but I do have Teen Titans #1. Maybe I'll show that next week. You know, so I got to check out this show. I didn't know. Yeah, that's right. And then they had like the Starfire. She looked like a street-walking prostitute. The most Marvel of the Silver Age DC comic. Absolutely. Again, I like this. I thought it was charming. It was like it had like the hokiness of the Silver Age DC-ness, but like with an edge to it, and it worked. And I think this is why this was a cult comic. People remember it. Like, this is gonna be weird. Oh, Minka played Dove, part of Hawk and Dove. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Another Steve Ditko creation. I'm gonna go on. This is like the Velvet Underground of comics. You know, like not a lot of people saw it at the time, but everybody who did see, like the Legend of the Velvet Underground, Lou Reed, a legendary band, is that they weren't popular at the time, and as they grew distant, they got more and more popular, more and more cult following. And I like the Doom Patrol. This was released as a ditched effort to save My Greatest Adventure, and then it lasted another 40 issues, I think 42 issues, and then it canceled, and they killed off the Doom Patrol. They died saving a town full of nobodies, like a town with like 110 people. The Doom Patrol volunteered to die so that the Brotherhood of Evil wouldn't kill these strangers. They were heroes through and through. And then, of course, they all survived because that's the way comic books are. But they were dead. They were dead until like the 80s. So like we're talking like 20 years they were gone, to the fact that there was another incarnation of the Doom Patrol, the second, and it was Niles Calder's estranged wife looking for Niles. And she was looking, and she found Negative Woman, and of course, Robot Man's brain was found, and then they reassembled his body, and then they found Tempest and Beast Boy, and they became the second incarnation of the Doom Patrol, which led to revised interest in the '80s Doom Patrol. And by that point, they found the Chief, they found Rita. Rita was the last one to come back, and I think that was the John Byrne era of when he did the Doom, and made her really sinister, really creepy. You could read that on your own, what they did to poor Rita. To the point, like I'll say that the real Rita died in that explosion, and this was just like a clone from Imperfect Cells. So there you go. This is 50 minutes, and I really don't have that much else to say, other than I was hoping for a comment on what I said about this wasn't pandering to children. Anybody agree, disagree, want to fight? Want to hear my pretentious art voice? Look at this. This is a wonderful example of postmodernism. We have the aged man over here battling his own mortality as the people succumb to the rigors of modern life and under capitalism. There you go. That's for you, Fabrizio, if you're still there. I agree about the Silver Age DC. Neil Adams coming in on Batman was a knife shift. Yes, we cannot underscore the importance of Neil Adams coming to DC. Neil Adams was like for those of you who don't know, Neil Adams is a famous comic book artist who passed away a couple of years ago. He alone was, I think, was dragged DC from children pandering to like Marvel style of taking the audience as intelligent beings. Like this was a precursor, and then Neil Adams, like before Neil Adams, Batman was like Adam West. After Neil Adams, Batman was more like what we consider Batman today. And they put him on what, Brave and the Bold, and the Neil Adams Batman started selling more than like the Detective and actual Batman comics, because they took him seriously. He was a Dark Avenger. Justice League was hokey on and off for the first handful of issues, but there are plenty. Yes, the Justice League eventually turned amazing. Yeah, there's no argument there. And I'm enjoying. I think I'm up to issue 11 in my reading of the Justice League. And there you go. Sign up for my Substack at johnboy@substack.com. Boy is my real last name. It's not shortened. It is just a weird name for a weird person. Yes, Neil Adams changed the Bob Handy Brave and Bold scripts from Daylight. Yeah, yes. Batman should be out in the dark. Yes, absolutely. So there you go. Anything else you want me to talk about? Anything else you want to say? So I think next week I will. I'll pull out New Teen Titans, or not New Teen. I will pull out Teen Titans #1. Unfortunately, I don't have the first appearance of the Teen Titans, but it'll be the first Teen Titans comic book. It was definitely not Silver Age DC material, but it was still kid friendly. Yes, there's nothing wrong with kid friendly. I thank you for bringing that up, Comics for Life. Where was I talking about this? I forget but I was just talking about this on a stream the other day, where I said there's a difference between children's comics and all ages comics, and made for adult comics. Made for adult comics, I don't think I need to explain. They have cursing, they got boobies, they got like over the top gore, and maybe like some suggestive themes or whatever, like rated R. All ages comics are like PG. Kids could read them, and the examples I always give is the X-Men's Hellfire Club and Dark Phoenix stories. Those were some of the most treasured, beloved, amazing, revolutionary, whatever adjective you want to use, comics of all time, and they were all ages. They went through the Comics Code Authority. They were sold on newsstands. I bought them when I was in 5th grade, and I knew that the Hellfire Club was up to no good, and and they had like Jean Grey dressed as like, a sexy dominatrix, but I didn't quite get exactly what's going on with, they were the Epsteins, the Sebastian Shaw and the White Queen were the Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein of the superhero world, which is why I just am livid when I see all the superheroes going to Hellfire Club extravaganzas in the modern Marvel comics. That's like saying, like, let's have all the superheroes go to Epstein Island. Yay. But then again, modern DC is kind of freaky and modern Marvel's kind of freaky. But that was all ages. Now, children's comics would be like Richie Rich, you know, uh, 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 you know, uh, My Little Pony comics, although those are a little weird these days that have come out. But you know what I'm talking about? Like Marvel Comics had a line called Star Comics, which was droids and Richie Rich and why can't I think of the other properties? But it was comics made for children. Now, the Justice League was made for children. This is all ages. So yes, it's a step up if you ask me. Uh, it was definitely not silver. Yeah, okay, I already saw that. Michael Gallant. Good morning, Michael. Good to see you. How are you? All ages or children's comics. That's a good distinction. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I'm not the one who came up with that distinction. But like Star Comics, if you remember those from the 80s, they were children's comics. They were for children, made to children, and then all ages is like The Hobbit. The Hobbit isn't all ages. We call it children's literature. Charlotte's Web is children's literature, but I read Charlotte's Web as an adult, having seen the cartoon a million times. It was excellent. Wizard of Oz. I read that as an adult, because I loved it. It's for everybody. But then there's children's stuff like Care Bears. That's for children. Now, like Scooby Doo is for children. I know adults like it. I've always hated Scooby Doo. So there you go. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything? Bueller? Oh, I might as well mention this. I bought this for dirt cheap. And then when I got it, I didn't realize it has these holes in it. I was like, who the hell did this? So I had to buy another copy. And this is so this is a worthless copy with holes in it. What is this comment? John Broome would do some silly stories during the Silver Age and then pop out an honest to goodness great story. Bob Handy too, although he would trash. Oh yeah, continuity was a suggestion. Continuity was a suggestion at this time for I think even Marvel was a little stronger with it, but yeah, it wasn't a rule. It was a suggestion. Even in the 70s in Marvel, that was the problem. There was no editorial control. Roy Thomas and bunch were a bunch of hippies. And that's why they all hated Jim Shooter, because he came in like daddy and cracked the whip and made the company a cohesive, excellent company. Going back to last week, I like Scooby-Doo. Dang, so late, missed the show. Sorry. We're winding down there. What geeks do. To be fair, Care Bears were for special children. Oh, really? Okay. You just mentioned it again. Yep. Oh, I got it. Yeah, okay. The timing's off. I love Johnny Quest. I know Chuck Dixon hates Johnny Quest. I love Johnny Quest. I bought the DVD. I love the cop. I love Johnny Quest. It was flawed. Like all Hanna-Barbera, it was flawed. But I love Johnny Quest. And if you like Johnny Quest and you like Scooby-Doo, watch the Venture Brothers and watch the Venture Brothers in order. It's one continuous story. And I love the Venture Brothers. So anything, Bueller, anybody or comments? I'll just filibuster for another minute or two. I don't know what else to say. And I guess that's it. We'll wind down. Yeah, next week I'll do Teen Titans #1. As always, this is one of my favorite things that I do on this channel. I just love doing an in-deep dive, talking about a key comic. I love the way this evolved from just like, yeah, I don't know what to do, to we're kind of exploring Marvel and DC's origins in this. And next week, yeah, the Teen Titans will be the next topic. I haven't. I think I missed it. I think I'm a couple episodes behind on the Venture Brothers. I got to go back and check it out. I kind of want to. I'm kind of waiting for it to be over, and then I want to buy a box set of everything. Even though I have like the first 4 seasons on DVD, I kind of want one big box set because you know they're going to do some crazy stuff. Great show. Have a great yes. Thank you. Thank you. You too, guys. Thank you. Like I said, my wife and I we're gonna go food shopping, and I want to make some green chili stew. All right. So thanks a lot, everybody. I'll see you next week. Um, I have a couple of live chats this week. The names escape me. I'll create the streams for them this week so we can see. I'm in talks with some big names. I don't want to jinx it by saying everything. My campaign for Heroic Tales, we're building the campaign, put it on Fund My Comic to get it approved. I'm waiting on some artwork for variant covers. The coins, that is now the thing that's holding me up. They said it was going to be 2 to 3 months. That was 3 months ago. Now they're saying that they never said 2 to 3 months. They said 4 to 6 months. So I don't know what to do. That is frustrating me. So it's I live and learn. I'm learning that things take longer than they say. Oh, what do you think about X-Men 97 coming out? I'm the wrong person to ask. By the time X-Men 97 came out in 97, I was already done with the X-Men. I quit reading the X-Men at issue 204. The X-Men stopped being a comic book about adventures and going into space and fighting mutants and fighting villains, and it became about complaining. Oh, we just want to be treated like everybody else. It just got on my nerves, and I quit the X-Men. I've since bought all the back issues because I'm a crazy person. So I never watched the X-Men 97 cartoon, and I have no opinion about the new one because it would be hypocritical to comment on something that I'm not going to watch it. I have no nostalgia for it, and I didn't watch it when it originally came out. So I hope that doesn't hurt your feelings or anything like that, but I don't know what to say. I also don't I like the Avatar: The Last Airbender. I thought the cartoon was brilliant. I'm not watching the TV show. I've heard too many negative things. I have adopted, I've been burnt before. I feel like a battered ex-girlfriend or battered wife. So I don't get into all this new nostalgia stuff until I hear from other people that it was good. I'm not going to invest my time and then finding out it's woke trash or it's different or it's updated for a modern audience. If you Porter, if you tell me it's good, maybe I'll check it out. But as of right now, I didn't watch the original series. I'm not going to watch this series. I do have a feeling that things are changing, but I also feel it's too little, too late. So there you go. Anybody going once, going twice? All right, I'm gonna close this down. Oh, thanks for your response. It was funny. Okay, cool. Thank you. Good. I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm not here to cause drama either, but I'm also not going to lie when asked a direct question. All right. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.